Hey Cancer! Thanks for joining me for your November reading. If we haven't met before, I'm Madeline, and if you're back, extra thank you, extra high. Okay, before we jump into your cards, Cancer, I want to talk about that Mercury retrograde that's going on in Scorpio, which happens to be your 5th house. And the 5th house is romance, creativity, and playfulness. So as I was kind of sitting, meditating, concentrating on your energy, seeing what Spirit wanted to come through with before we got started, they were talking about that 5th house and the fact that this is a month where it's kind of important to let things flow. It's kind of important for things to grow as they want to, for the roots to spread in the different patterns and directions that they want to go, and then to branch out, versus trying to put them in boxes. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting, but what Spirit is showing me are like plants that grow in the wild versus a plant that's growing in a pot. It needs a little more space and a little more room right now. Rules are important. Rules matter. We need specific containers for certain things. But this month, it's kind of important to let your mind and your heart wander, to discover what they want, to discover what makes you feel passionate and playful and what brings you fun and enjoyment. So with that in mind, let's see how that message plays with your cards. See what Spirit wants to tell you about what's coming up in November. Hey! Chasing your passion, 5th house. Okay, I like it. Right. Wow. All right. Wow. Okay, I need one more. What message you bringing in? What message you bring in, Page of Wands? What do you need us to know about Cancer's future? And then they drop a card. Love it. Love it. If the sun was not enough at the center of your spread, we got the star coming up in your future. Something is changing. Something is changing, and I kind of want to tell you to trust. Yep. I want to tell you to trust, and then this card jumps out. The star is number 8 in the tarot, reduces to the number 8, and so it is related to all the lower 8s. 8 of Cups, leap of faith, leaving behind maybe something that was working for a while or was nourishing for a while, but now it's time to move on to something new. And that is coming linked up and clarifying the 7 of Swords, of cutting our losses, of recognizing what we need to kind of leave behind. Message coming in for a lot of you. Very literally, this is going to improve your health. That's what they're telling me with that sun card at the very center. The sun is energy and vitality, and some of you need to ditch some losing battles. That's just how they said it, loud and clear. No judgment from Spirit, Cancer. You can do whatever you choose. But Spirit is coming through and telling me that it feels like there is somebody who has been a little selfish, a little self-centered, a little cold, a little bit of a know-it-all. And it might be time for you to kind of focus on yourself. That's just what they're saying. Let's talk about it. So you have the 5 of Swords hovering over the top of your reading. And the 5 of Swords can be pettiness, feeling left out, feeling like everybody's over there, and I'm going to take my ball and go home. Or I'm left in the group where somebody else took their ball and went home and left me like, wow, geez, okay, I thought we were playing, but you know how when you're a little kid and other kids will say, you're not playing right, when you're playing like an imagination game and you do something that's outside the rules, even though that wasn't a rule? That's kind of what this feels like. You're not playing right, and either you or somebody else does not like how things are going. And maybe there needs to be either a renegotiation of the terms, whatever this is. If this is somebody that you're working with, if this is somebody that you're partnering with, if this is somebody that you're having a fight with, but you really like this person usually, And, you know, it's a general reading, Cancer, so I'm getting different things for different people, but they are relating this Five of Swords situation to the King of Swords in your past. So somebody very smart, very great communicator, somebody whose opinion you respect. And that is probably part of what makes it difficult to think about yourself and focus on yourself and not worry so much about what they think and what they want. But I feel like that benefits you. Now, at the same time, try your best not to be too selfish or too, you know, brash, which isn't normally like you. But, you know, Cancer, when you've been pushed to the edge and you feel like somebody has maybe taken you for granted, or you have kind of martyred yourself and you're starting to feel resentful, if you're in that situation, Cancer, where you're martyring yourself and you're starting to feel resentful, it may be time to just be like, yeah, you know what, like, this is not mine to carry. You're a King of Swords. You can handle a couple more swords. I'm gonna go. Like, I'm not in my element here. I'm supposed to be in my cups. I'm supposed to be sweet. I'm supposed to be... I don't like to be forced into situations where I feel like I'm strategizing how to communicate my feelings. That's what they're saying for some of you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to convince some King of Swords not to treat me like shit, or not to be unfair to me, or kind of talk circles around me. That's what they're saying for some of you. And not because you're not smart enough, Cancer, to keep up with them, but because you're not that manipulative. This doesn't go for everybody. These are general readings, Cancer. Only if this resonates with you does it apply. If something doesn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's for some other Cancer who is listening. Some of you, this is your father. And Spirit just used the word disingenuous, which is like the worst way that a King of Swords can be, because a King of Swords, when they are in their best, at their best and in their element, they are very honest and have a great deal of integrity and honor. And it's like, hey, you know, is it Oscar Wilde that said, like, a good friend stabs you in the front? Like, the worst thing that a King of Swords can become when they are twisted and go in the wrong direction is a liar. And is somebody who can use their words to talk circles around people or to keep them in their place, is what Spirit just said. So if you feel like somebody is either talking circles around you or trying to keep you in your place, and you have an opportunity to leave that behind, even if it's just emotionally, like, I'm going to put some emotional distance between me and this thing, I'm going to detach from this person, I'm going to, like, detach from expectations. Expectations are premeditated resentments, as they say. So some of you Cancers might be so sweet and so, like, giving that it's like it never occurs to you that somebody else might just take and take and take and take if you keep offering it. Don't martyr yourself this month. Don't do it. Don't do it. Focus on you. What's your passion? What do you want to create? What do you want to have? What do you want your life to look like? The sun, crossed by that Knight of Wands, says that if you chase your passion and you chase a great idea and it's something that you're truly excited about, there's like some pretty great results that are coming out of that. Like, I'm feeling wealth. I'm feeling a focus on work that is really producing something incredible. So if it's not like just money that you're trying to earn, which, hey, looks pretty good anyway, money-wise. But if this is not just like financial fulfillment, this is personal pride. This is like, damn, I really did that. I'm awesome. So even if it's as simple as like, I got up and I cleaned the whole house and I got the laundry done. And then after all that, I went grocery shopping and filled the fridge. And I get to now kick back on the couch and be like, I'm amazing. I'm a domestic goddess or god, wherever you are on the gender spectrum. Feeling proud. And it's not going to come through trying to convince other people. It's going to come through taking the actions that you've convinced yourself are worthwhile. A little order and a little discipline and a little willingness to be like, I'm only going to worry about what's within my control. That's what Spirit just said. Like, internal locus of control. All three of these characters who are showing up at the end of your spread know that lesson very well. This isn't about what anybody else can do for me. It's about what I can do with what I've got. I'm a builder. All three of these characters are builders. And feeling independent, feeling very capable is important to all three of these people. And with the sun at the center of your spread, Spirit is saying your money is growing. Your skills are growing. And you're going to be seeing, if you put your mind to it, if you keep at it, you're going to be seeing some pretty fabulous results and kind of a wonderful, like Spirit is saying, like a confirmation of your faith. Wow. Okay. So what they said just now is that for some of you, the confirmation of your faith is going to be, okay, if I have to walk away, even if that, again, just means emotionally detaching from expecting something from this King of Swords person, your faith will be rewarded. The star is a feeling of innocence and hope springs eternal, like a feeling of renewal, a feeling of possibility, a feeling of like synchronicity and magic working in your life. Messengers are coming in that are telling you like, hey, come in this direction. Little signs everywhere from, yes, billboards and songs and tarot readers on YouTube, but also like the well-timed text from a friend that is like, whoa, that's so weird that they just texted me that because I was just thinking about this and then they said that at exactly the right time that it felt eerie. Listen. Be open. That is what you are wonderful at. And closing yourself off is not in your favor this month. Letting things, as they said in the beginning about that Mercury retrograde 5th house, like it's the house of romance and creativity. So for some of you, it could be a romantic partner that is kind of being dodgy or that you can't exactly pin down what's going on. Or for some of you, it could be someone that you're working with. And in either case, it's like, well, what can I do? What is within my control and my purview? Not because I'm going to try to I'm going to control this, but more like I can't do anything about what that person is going to say or do, or if they're going to start to act right after acting wrong. I can't control that, so I kind of have to take my hands off and be like, all right, cool. Well, here's what I can control. My home, my habits, my desires, and going after what matters to me. And if this person that you have to walk away from is worth their salt, they will come back and explain that they have seen the error of their ways. And to be honest, Cancer, I'm not wanting to dangle a carrot in front of anybody, but that's what I'm hearing for some of you, is that, I'm not, this is hard because it's like, I'm not saying play hard to get. I'm not saying like walk away, but you're not really walking away. You're kind of just like, I'm walking away now. See me walking? Do you see where I'm going? Make sure you know where I'm going so you can follow me. Like, I'm not talking about that kind of walking away. I'm talking about really kind of like leaving the chips on the table and being like, well, yep, I invested all this time and all this energy, but the truth is, like, I wanted to play the game. And I decided that the risk was worth it and that I wanted to have some fun, and sometimes the house wins, and sometimes the house might come chasing after you with an armful of chips and be like, hey, you left these, like, don't you want these? And some of you, this person is going to be like, hey, wait, my bad, like, did I hurt your feelings? Did I do something wrong? Like, there is something better and more heartfelt coming up for you. You may have felt a little too squeezed into like strategizing and outwitting things before, and now it's time to be a little more freeform and a little more led with your heart and with your innocence, your sweetness, caring about yourself, centering yourself. Like any amateur photographer, Cancer, you might have put the subject at the center of your frame, when really, like, they look better over here, taking up like this lovely third of the frame or whatever, and then look at all these other awesome things going on in the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Maybe take them out of the frame for a bit. Maybe shift your focus and be like, wow, look at everything I have going for me. What if I put my effort into growing this, and that about my life? Where could that take me by December? an exciting new opportunity. Something that feels possibly like a dream come true, or like there's magic working in your life. Like, how did this angel drop in and bring me over here, bring me this message, bring me to this place I was supposed to see? This new innocence, this feeling of hope. Your money, your health, your creativity, your passion, those are at a high. Be true to yourself is what Spirit just said, as clear as day. Be true to yourself, Cancer. If you feel something, if you think something, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. And if something is hurting you, acknowledge it. Maybe tell the person. And if they take their ball and go home because you said, hey, like, you're hurting my feelings, like, that will tell you a lot more about that person than about your personal worth. So you mustn't take it personally if somebody does end up making you feel a little bit on the outs. That's that person not knowing how to handle their swords. Yeah, don't be afraid. If you end up feeling like you had to let go of a couple things, like, damn, like I said, like I had to leave my chips on the table and just go, you're cutting your losses and you're moving on. And you're moving on to something better, to something that may feel a little unfamiliar, but to something that also feels pretty magical. And worth it. Like, financially and personally worth it. I do also want to say, I feel like there is, I feel like there may be an apology coming to a lot of you. So turning and walking away from this person doesn't mean, hey, fuck you, get out of my life, da-da-da-da-da. It might just be as simple as, like, I used to be up that person's ass, you know, texting them or you know, messaging them cute or funny things every day, but they never responded. So I'm just gonna, all right, like, I got the message and I'm just gonna kind of chill. And then, hey, I miss you, where have you been? Again, not telling you to manipulate or to, like, anything like that. I'm just saying some of you, it feels like it's the... Okay, Spirit's coming through with a word, Cancer. You know, like, I want you to think for a second about, like, maybe if you've ever had somebody in your life that, like, liked you too much, like, romantically speaking, or even just a friend that was like, what are you doing tomorrow? And what are you doing the next day? And where are you? And what are you doing right now? And what's that? And you're so, like, and it can start to feel a little bit like, like, back up, you're a little too clingy or you're too attached. But when somebody is kind of like, you know, they're here and then they're not here, like, they're interested, but they're kind of like not infringing on you, that you find yourself like thinking about that person and like maybe like, oh, what are they up to? Maybe I should send them something. The non-attachment is ironically attractive. So attachment, we feel like maybe if I grab this, it will be here and it'll stay here. But non-attachment is what makes things want to come closer to us. Like, oh, they have something I don't have. You know what I mean? Something to think about. 5th house, Mercury retrograde. What do I love? How do I get it? What do I want? How do I get it? What do you want? How are you going to get it? Tell me, Cancer. I want to know. And if I can help you out, I will try to drop in with some advice if you have questions. Really appreciate you moon children showing up for your reading, and I hope that it's really helpful to you. And if I don't see you in a video before then I hope I see you in your December reading. Bye, Cancer.